Thank you. Please be seated. Hi, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ramona. I have a clicker here, so let me use it. Am I aiming it the wrong way? No?
Just tell me to click.
Okay, go ahead. Let's read this, our covenant. Oh, we did it? Okay. All right. Next? Next? Okay. Wait here. The Tao gives sustaining energy to everyone, without exception. It is a natural energy, not a deity. These are Lao Tzu's words. Lao Tzu, a Chinese philosopher, composed 81 transformational verses in the year 500 BC. Today, my references to Lao Tzu are from the book by Dr. Wayne Dyer, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. In his book, Dr. Dyer brings ancient verses into 21st century perspective. Here is one of those verses from Dyer's translation. Lao Tzu wrote, "Your treasure is in your peace of mind." Wayne Dyer said, "Affirm to yourself, I have no enemies." Don't think of them as enemies. I'm going to share out-of-the-box ideas, and I guess you're used to this from me already, and ask for your interaction from where you're sitting. We'll have a number of interactions. The first interaction is to think about your birthday, the month and the day of the month, and which season your birthday is in. I was born in the springtime on April 1st, and yes, that is April Fool's Day. But I focused on not being a fool, and instead I became an information hound, learning and discovering more and more every year. Scientific information, belief, and truth, and art in all its forms. Art expression and art appreciation. With my family demonstrating their deep concern for the legal rights of grassroots citizens. So I grew up in a family with a judge and a bunch of lawyers. I got my degree from Michigan State University, a clothing and textiles major, with a cross-cultural emphasis, particularly the cultures of Japan and Africa. This major was from the College of Human Ecology, where everything was taught in terms of an ecosystem. Let's see if we can get the slides caught up with that. There is a slide that says what an ecosystem is.
Which way do I go?
Down two, I think. No, there. Oh, down one.
There you go.
Be aware that there's an evil auto advance in these slides. So
Okay.
they're going to automatically move it. I'll move them back.
Okay. All right. Okay, go, stay on the slide until I need it, okay? This major was from the College of Human Ecology, where everything was taught in terms of an ecosystem. Physicist David Bohm says everything is interconnected, woven together in dynamic unity. It is the first law of ecology. Ecology is the study of human organisms, how they interact and how they're influenced by their environment around them. Next slide. Nothing stands alone. It's all part of an ecosystem. Following that degree at Michigan State, I went to art school where my brain expanded in a way that it can never again be contained. I learned in art school that imagination is the key to life, that curiosity leads to discovery of new information and calms and expands our minds. We fear what we don't understand. In my late 20s, an individual, a gentle but strong influencer in my life, said to me, by the way, this guy is still in my life, but I was in my 20s, and we were in a coffee shop in California, and over coffee he said to me, "Let what you see and hear come to you. Stop reaching for it." I really didn't catch on to what he meant by that, but soon afterwards I did, after I calmed my mind. As I went on, I became more aware that all the information contained in each present moment, this moment and the next moment, renews the one before. I felt it calm me and cover me with compassion and empathy. Lao Tzu says, cooperation is the ultimate unity with heaven. Wayne Dyer said, better than ego-identifying opposition. Next slide. This is good. The Tao is a realization used in daily interactions. All 81 verses are about daily interactions. It's Bonnie's turn to sing "We Give Thanks."
Again, let's stand and sing together.
It's in the blue teal hymnal.
Page 1010, if you want to turn to that. And we're just going to do the first verse twice and talk about time and not food, because that'll come later. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away. All this time we share with love.
So early in my 20s, I became a servant, helping people in every way I could. I taught drawing and painting classes when people asked. I developed my sewing skills to the point where I could do expert clothing alterations and draft clothing patterns for original garments and costumes. Mom always said, "You can do anything," but I thought that was just Mom talking. In my 20s, I ran a test to follow the validity of my intuition. It seemed it was always true for me, so I wanted to test it further. And it became a 9-month period of time because amazing things happened way beyond what I thought my abilities were. And it was simple and easy. It changed my self-concept. I help them even more by developing my dressmaking skills into a business, creating a design workroom in Ann Arbor, Michigan called Michigan's Mom Sewing Services. We were open to the public. We had 5 independent contractors on call whenever they were available, of course. Cable TV advertising in a company van, networking at Chamber of Commerce meetings and Yellow Pages ads kept us in 6 figures for 10 years in a row. For those 10 years, we were booked 3 months in advance. No small task. By using my intuition in business, meeting multiple deadlines seemed effortless, even with back-ordered fabrics and customers, and even the people I was paying to help me going on vacation. Sorry, I'm not available. I adjusted. For those 35 years, I was asking people to open up their imaginations for what I could create for them. And I created exactly what they imagined. It empowered them and me until 2018. We need the slide with Dr. Daniel Amen on it. Now, 6 years later, I've collected information in the form of certifications and lifetime access to the ongoing research of double board certified Dr. Daniel Amen, which means that he focuses on the brain health of both children and adults. Those are the 2 boards. My next certification and lifetime access to his research is Dr. Joseph McClendon III, who focuses on our brain functioning better through the management of our thoughts. At the back table there's a section from one of my brain health notebooks. Next slide. To affect the quality of the day, that is the highest of the arts. Henry David Thoreau. Seniors naturally fall into right and left brain balance. Having this earlier in life is a great benefit. Chris, you're going to conduct the candle lighting?
I can?
Yeah, now.
Okay, this will be our time for meditation. I don't have a meditation, so I'm going to ask you to think about what Ramona has talked about so far, and just close your eyes for a few seconds of silence, and then when Jennifer starts to play the piano, you can come up and light a candle for joy or concern or remembrance. And if you would like to write it in the book in the back. It will be put in the e-update this coming week, but you don't have to do that. Okay, let's just have a few moments of silence. This last handout is for all those joys and concerns that are left unspoken.
With right and left brain balance, we're able to stay calm, process our emotions instead of succumbing to them, having them overtake us. And we have time and ability to be more imaginative and creative, more aware of other people, more aware of what's going on in our bodies. And the cream in the coffee is time to sharpen our instincts, our sixth sense, intuition. I have found while talking to people about intuition, they think it's a highly spiritual thing. Well, it can be. Simply put, intuition is pure instinct. It is not thought. Try to make logical sense out of it, and you've lost it. It's easier to reference intuition as a sense, a sixth sense, along with the other five senses: sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. We hardly ever stop to think about these until we lose part of our eyesight or all of it. Think what we can perceive with our senses. It's absolutely amazing, including intuition. When you start to trust it, practice trusting it, life takes on a richness. I'll give you some techniques for doing that. The secret of inner peace comes from being creative with your challenges. Creativity comes from your spirit. Wouldn't it be nice to be forewarned of something that's not good for you? Would it be better to have a sense of what is good for you so you can spend your time with things that make you happy? Would you like to be more peaceful in this crazy, mixed up world with misplaced human ecological values? This is holy as the day is spent.
Holy is the dish and drain, the soap and sink, the cup and plate, and warm wool socks and cold white tile, shower heads and good dry towels. Frying eggs sound like psalms, with a bit of salt measured in my palm. It's all a part of a sacrament, as holy as a day is spent. Holy is a busy street, cars that boom with passion's beat, the checkout girl counting change, the hands that shook my hands today. Hymns of geese fly overhead, spread their wings like their parents did. Blessed be the dog that runs in her sleep to catch that wild, elusive thing. Holy is a familiar room, quiet moment in the afternoon, folding sheets like folding hands, to pray as only laundry can. I'm letting go of all I fear, like autumn leaves of the earth and air, for the summer came and the summer went, as holy as a day is spent. Holy is the place I stand to give whatever small good I can, the empty page, the open book, redemption everywhere I look. Unknowingly we slow our pace, in the shade of unexpected grace, with grateful smiles and sad lament, as holy as a day is spent. Morning light sings providence, as holy as a day is spent.
One of the things I do for people is to help them define their principles. And I've heard the word principles spoken here. And that's part of the reason why I'm here. I don't have to tell you that having principles to live by is important, but do you realize that you can redesign your principles at any time and begin anew? I find people who need help all the time just by asking and talking to them. There was a young woman, probably in her late 20s, here in Flint. We were sitting in our cars with our windows down on a hot summer day with our dogs, waiting to be called into the veterinary office. We were talking back and forth about our dogs, and then she started telling me about her life, about her alcoholic father, whom her mother divorced. She was raised by her mother, who became terminally ill, and she took good care of her mother. For many years. Now, brace yourself. The habit of her girlfriends was to have sex with 100 men as a valued goal. This young woman did not agree with that. So when I told her, she could have a different set of principles to live by, it was like a light went off in her brain. Her posture changed, her face changed, and she said, "Yeah, I could make them up." And I said, "Yes, you can." I found when it comes to expanding thoughts and experiences, in many ways it's just a matter of giving permission to do it. Permission to yourself, permission to other people. And people will go for it because they want to be free, they want to be creative, they want to be imaginative and curious and have fun like we did when we were kids. And isn't this the best time of our lives, when we're fully capable in our societies and as curious as we were when we were children, before we went to school, full of wonder, enthusiasm, and curiosity? I promise to give you a way to practice your intuition, to reawaken that instinct in you, and here it is. Look for something around you and think about grabbing a journal or opening a page in your word processor or on your computer or on your phone and write down every time you get an impression that makes no logical sense. It'll be a feeling. If you have felt the end of the warrior culture, a tendency to stop and reconsider what we're doing, and if you have sensed an increase in cooperation and collaboration, it is a reality for most of the planet. You are actually feeling vibrational energy. The sciences have proved that everything is made of energy. And I do believe that human vibrational energy is something artificial intelligence cannot replicate. So this is what keeps us human instinct, and allows us to put the reins on artificial intelligence with a set of morals and values right now. We have moral issues with AI coming to a head right now, and constant issues with violence and injustice. I grew up in a family of people who practice law, so I know my rights. Not everybody does know their rights. So if you know yours, speak them out loud to other people. Say, "Did you know that that's illegal?" They can't do that to you. Do you know what you can do about it? This is what you can do about it. Fill in the blank. If you don't know, ask them to Google state, local, or federal laws and what is meant by those laws. In a democracy, we get to redefine laws through our court system, and advocacy also works by showing up for what we believe in. Write down in your journal or on your computer or on your phone every time you get an instinctive feeling. The feeling will be subtle. Skip trying to define it in words. These vibrational feelings will be almost poetic. It's like trying to describe your ability to hear or taste or touch or smell. It just is. Slowly and gently, the arts and sciences are combining like they have after every plague throughout history. Listen to the words in common use now. You'll hear that resonates with me, or not my vibe, or watch what you're manifesting. And music has innovated to a new form, a new genre called ambient music. What we used to hear in yoga studios is now a new music genre, vibrational sounds. Ask yourself if you are comfortable without knowing the meaning of a thing, just feeling it, sensing it. Dan? Dan is going to sing a song by John Denver, and Bonnie too.
Experience and trying to find my own way. Sometimes I wish that I could fly away. When I think that I'm moving, suddenly things stand still. I'm afraid 'cause I think they always will. And I'm looking for space and to find out who I am. And I'm looking to know and understand. It's a sweet, sweet dream. Sometimes I'm almost there. Sometimes I fly like an eagle, and sometimes I'm deep in despair. All alone in the universe, sometimes that's how it seems. I get lost in the sadness and the screams. Then I look in the center, suddenly everything's clear. I find myself in the sunshine and my dreams. And I'm looking for space and to find out who I am. And I'm looking to know and understand. It's a sweet, sweet dream. Sometimes I'm almost there. Sometimes I fly like an eagle, and sometimes I'm deep in despair. experience joy in the living day. If there's an answer, it's just that way. When you're looking for space and to find out who you are. When you're looking to try and reach the stars. It's a sweet, sweet, sweet dream. Sometimes I'm almost there. Sometimes I fly like an eagle. And sometimes I'm deep in despair. Sometimes I fly like an eagle. Like an eagle, I go flying higher.
Thank you, that was great. Ray, can we have the slide with the book, Restoring the Kinship Worldwide? Thank you. I'd like to suggest this book. It is about indigenous wisdom in 21st century terms. Think back when you were children. Now think about how computers have changed the world, changed the way we think and talk. These innovations have literally changed the world. Now focus on the future. In the future, we will be able to feel energy, and our culture will change again, growing into being more human and better able to consistently reach fulfillment in our lifetimes. Next slide. I have written an easy-to-read book called Tapping into the Power of Your Intuition, Guidance to Reach Beyond Limits for Exceptional Results. It is at tappingintuition.com. And I have online programs that ease people into the use of their intuition every day. People are using their intuition daily in response to the negativity in the world. Becoming more intuitive allows you the calmness that is natural to you. You will become increasingly calmer with the use of your intuition. We will have a time to answer questions, but for now, I'd like to do a little breathing technique for tapping into your intuition. Before we start, I want you to acknowledge 3 things around you. Just look at something, 3 things around you. You can hold it in your hand or just think about your skirt or your jeans or your glasses or your purse or your hat. Just for about 5 seconds. Dan, what were the 3 things you acknowledged?
A guitar, this book, and my glasses.
And Fred?
My watch.
Uh-huh. Great. What does this do? It takes us out of the constant chatter in our heads and puts us right here with these things in this room. It stops the chatter we all experience. If you can dim the lights a little bit, that would be great. Now we're ready. I want you to take 3 deep breaths. And on the 3rd breath, imagine you're going down a slide. Close your eyes. Here we go. Oh, breathe in, and when you breathe out, breathe as if you're blowing out a candle. Like that. Okay, now breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep your eyes closed. Now in your head, not out loud, ask a question that only affects you. And right away, see what comes up for you as a response. In a journal or on paper or in your computer or on your phone, write down the question and the answer that came up for you. It's that easy. You can raise the lights now. Another easy way for tapping into the instinct of your intuition is to give it a name, something familiar. I've been accessing my intuition since childhood. And so I call mine friend, because it's always there and it's always helpful. Chris, you can do offertory and extinguishing the flame.
Our time for generosity. We offer our gifts of time, talent, and treasure to work for justice, to create a safe space for all who come to explore and to heal those in need of comfort. We invite you to join us as we take the collection by placing your offering in the basket at the back of the church as you leave, or making an online gift at uuflint.org. All gifts are gratefully accepted. Now, if you'll please join me in extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
A couple more things, mate. No, you're right. We'll do this first.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things get brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.
I can take questions now. Anyone? Rena? He's coming with the microphone.
Was there something that you wanted to say earlier that you'd like to say now?
Just that I'd like to say this to more people. And Reverend Jerry thought it was a good idea that I had to do it at other UU congregations. And So what I've done is I've written down all 81 verses with Wayne Dyer's titles on a 2-page back-to-back document in the back, and asked you to take it home and email the 3 most resonating verses to me, so because I can make a talk about any of those.
My question had to do with your comment that this comes to you as a person who has a very logical lifestyle, and but clearly has the other side of me in terms of things that I believe and my experiences. I think back to the most transformative logic but intuitive process that I encountered was to enter cognitive behavioral therapy in my 20s. It got me a transformation, and in my way of thinking that led to a significantly better life for me. And the other thing that I think we could all share about was the importance of a woman's support group. We called ourselves a consciousness raising group back then, but that group included 8 women whose lives were transformed by a year and a half, almost weekly commitment to coming together and sharing, lifting each other up, sharing our skills. And I think that kind of processes are going on now that help us give, and that it's a combination of finding time and listening to each other.
Right.
And that's a lot of what you're talking about. Yeah. And but I'd also don't know if anybody else here has done Tai Chi or yoga on a sustained basis, but as a practice, those are very transformative things for my life.
Yeah, for mine too. I have a regular yoga class that I go to. And you're right, when you kind of check in with yourself and find that wisdom that's inside of you, and then follow the steps. It's almost like a yellow brick road. It just, there's just steps to take, and it leads you into joy and happiness. We don't know what house or what car or what significant other person is going to make us happy, but we have it inside of us to be happy no matter what. And it doesn't mean that you have to change anything in your life. It's very interesting what following your own intuition does.
Ramona, I want to thank you for the thoughts that you shared with us today, but I'm also aware of my own trusting of my intuition, and that it's gotten much easier to do the older that I've gotten, because at some point you just don't give a damn. Right? And the filters go away, and there's less importance that you place on how other people perceive you or support you. Right. Now, I know that some of that comes from having white privilege. Some of that comes from having a certain economic status. Yeah. But also as a woman, I was struck by how I was thinking about that phrase, women's intuition, and that throughout my lifetime, that was presented more as something that was frivolous and not meaningful or to be taken seriously. But to me, it's a part of who I am that I've always embraced and value, and have tried to instill in my 30-something-year-old daughter, who is very anxious, very untrusting of her own intuition. So I appreciate your thoughts and what it is that you've caused me to think about today. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Not giving a damn is simply stopping what's going on in the world here right in front of you. You can put up a row of flowers in front of you, a wall of roses, and not let that stuff affect you so you can rest and calm yourself and tap into that inner wisdom.
Yeah, my comment is this is coming from a guy in his mid-70s, and most of the people under this roof right now are closer to me at this time of my life than in the 20s, which is what I'm thinking about. In my 20s, I was fairly anxiety-ridden. I was transitioning from high school and college into a public school job that was pretty stressful, family person, responsible for others, trying to do social justice, and I was not as at peace with myself as I am now. Now, I did not hear much in your presentation about, your title was Inner Peace, and the maturing or aging process. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yes. As we age, our brain favors right and left brain balance. And it is with if you just focus on whatever part, right or left brain, that you need more of, this naturally happens as we age. We don't even have to try.
Left from right, what's the difference?
Okay, left brain is analytical and keeping track of all kinds of details. And the right brain is creative, full of wonder, and a lot of what I spoke about. So we follow along because we naturally want to belong to a tribe. We want to belong to a community. So we follow along with other people's thinking. But when you give your brain a rest and you all of a sudden take a different route home, that's right brain. Okay, you all of a sudden start eating something different, that's right brain. Okay, so it's different from what the left brain says, we do it this way. So the right brain is open, it's open-minded.
So your point is that as we age, we gravitate toward the right side?
Towards balance.
Generally?
Towards balance of the two.
All right.
This is a caveat with regard to intuition and imagination and how very close they are.
Yeah.
The caveat, imagination, is stronger.
It is. I refer to imagination as the window that opens up into your intuition, or the door. Yeah. And which is fun, because imagining is fun. Yeah.
Ramona, thank you for imparting some of your wisdom. You've given me a lot to think about. I also want to thank you for the selection. I'm assuming you are the one that picked the music selections for people to perform.
Well, it was a collaboration.
Okay, and for Bonnie and Dan, OMG, the harmony, I want more of the two of you together.
Thank you, Don.
I really appreciated your service so much. It kind of followed the course I have gone through my life. And I'm thinking, gee, I need to go back and revisit some of the things that I had studied very carefully in the past. I thought, I need to integrate those things better than I have.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for
Mm-hmm.
what you had to say today.
Well, you're welcome. I do want to say that when I wrote the book, Tapping into the Power of Your Intuition, I was imagining I was explaining it to my 11-year-old grandson. So people tell me it's really easy to understand, and all that New Age stuff from the 60s that boggled our minds is made very simple in this book.
Well, I'm going to say, let's take this conversation down to coffee, if all the important stuff has been said. Thank you so much for presenting today. That was a real blessing. And I ask for patience and forgiveness for all those folks out there on YouTube for all the things that didn't work. This is the first Sunday where it's all officially my fault, because I'm now the moderator and I was running the computer.
Good job, Ray.
I set the bar low enough anybody else can feel comfortable.
Yes, you guys. You sound great, and together you sound terrific.
I don't know how this part is. That's not.
They got the mic right over between you, Tony, and everybody else with your thoughts. A lot of wisdom. You're gonna check these for water, right? This one especially feels feather-like. It's gotta be dry.